Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Answer is Yes podcast, where we will explore the cause and effect of just saying yes in your everyday life or in business. I will dig into topics that are not just stimulating, but will challenge you to be better in everything you do. The podcast is based on the simplicity of saying yes to opportunities you might encounter every single day. I'm your host, Jim Riley. Join me in my first series titled Blue Collar Redefined. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you tuning in this week. I guess this is going to be our last show before Christmas, and I'm kind of grateful that Christmas is right around the corner. I have made every effort this year, just like last, to create all these Christmas experiences for my kids. Last year was a lot easier than this year because my 3-year-old wasn't so interactive with everything, and she was easy to drag along. But this year, she's playing a major role in decision-making and fighting and all those other things that 3-year-olds do with their older sisters. They both turned a year older in the last 30 days, so I've got a 3 and a 5-year-old now. We have had a lot of fun, but it has been a lot of work on Dad. So I do love the holidays. Lights are up, Christmas trees up. Some of the presents are wrapped, and we are having a good time. We did purchase a new Weimaraner puppy. If anybody out there has a Weimaraner, you know what I'm talking about. Great dogs. I've had one in the past, and but the puppy deal, that's a lot of work too. So we brought it all on ourselves here. I am fully recovered from my Spartan race. I'm back in the gym training again, getting ready for 2019. Plus, I don't want to put on the extra pounds over the holidays. I've made it this far. It's the 19th of the month, and we're just right around the corner from wrapping this year up, and so far so good. I'm very appreciative of my support companies out there for my Spartan racing. I've talked a lot about GQ6, which is my hydration sponsor in the past. HeartFit Glendora is my gym. Jordan is my trainer over there. He's done a phenomenal job with me the last 3 years. I've literally turned my body over to him to create a Spartan athlete, and he's done a great job. I've had a lot of podium finishes. I've had 6 first-place finishes this year, so thanks to Jordan. I really appreciate all the work he's done. And then most recently, if you notice on my social media, I've been starting to tag a company called True Nutrition. And if you have not heard of True Nutrition, please look them up. If there's something on their website you like and you want to buy, you can get a discount utilizing OCR Riley, OCRRILEY, and it's good for a 5% discount. But what I love about them is that you're able to go online and kind of create your own blends of protein supplements and nutrition. So what I utilize them for is their oatmeal blend. I add almonds, chopped almonds, bananas, and then I also get a protein powder from them that I add branched chain amino acids. Now, my protein usage is not a meal supplement. It really is kind of like that snack in between meals if I just need to get by and I don't have access to good, healthy food. That's what I utilize their protein powder for. And I really have begun to enjoy their products. So if you're in the market for nutrition products, please check them out, True Nutrition. And I'm sure you'll find something that you like and you'll love their products. So don't forget OCR Riley, RILEY, for a 5% discount with them. So I just think that last week was such a great show with Alan Stein Jr. I love where the topics went and the discussion points, and he's clearly a heavy hitter. It blows me away at how many heavy hitters are out there in society, to be honest with you. You know, we think about celebrity names, and especially when I'm booking guests for the show, it's always like, oh, I want that big name to get the, tons of listeners. But the reality is there's so many great people out there that have a story to tell. And Alan's one of those people. He does a lot of hard work behind the scenes with the basketball players at top level, but most of us have never heard of Alan Stein, and I'm so glad that he was on the show. And I think we've seen a lot of that in terms of our guests, and this week's guest is no different. I talked early on when I started recording this show about blue-collar workers and getting a trade. And if college education isn't for you, there's lots of great career paths out there. And today's a prime example of somebody that's chosen a career path that wasn't the college route in traditional means. And this person is the captain of the Ventura Fire Department. He's got a lot of great things to say about his job and how he's gotten to where he's at today. And I just encourage everybody to take a listen. And if you're at that age where you need to make a decision on which way you want to go, this is a great opportunity to hear firsthand from a fire captain, somebody that's lived the life for a lot of years. And I'm very fortunate in my life that I've gotten to know and I'm friends with many people in the fire department, both here locally, San Bernardino, as well as in the Apple Valley, Hesperia area. A lot of my race team members over the years have been I've had some fire captains and some firefighters amongst the group. So just a great group of people. So I'm very blessed. So without dragging it out any further, I want to introduce this week's show, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, here we are. Thanks and welcome back to the Answer is Yes podcast. I've got another great guest on the show, and you've heard me talk a lot about, I don't want to say blue collar, but trade, going out and getting yourself a trade or serving our country or your state in a various capacities. So we have police officers, firemen, military, et cetera. And today I'm thrilled to be interviewing somebody from the fire department. His name is Jack Nosco. Jack, are you on the line?
I am.
Good to hear from you. Great to have you on the show today. Now, if I'm correct, you're a captain up in Ventura. Is that where you work at?
Yes, sir, with Ventura County Fire Department.
Wow. Now, my most exposure up there was surfing the fairgrounds up there, and I always enjoyed doing that. But what a great little city that you work and live in.
Oh, yeah. I think where I live is paradise, and I think next to my family, my career as a fire captain with Ventura County Fire Department has been the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. So I'm very blessed and fortunate.
Yeah, well, I will thank you live on the air for your service and especially the year that you guys have had up there. What a terrible fire year, and you guys were right in the heart and soul of all that. Is there anything that you can share or kind of what you guys went through to get those fires under control up there this year?
Yeah, I would say, backing up a year to the Thomas fire, which, blew through numerous communities and we lost hundreds of homes. And then the combination of the Hill Fire and the Woolsey Fire in this last month was, again, just devastating. Mass destruction, hundreds of structures lost. And for me, personally, I've always felt that, it's very unfortunate that this stuff occurs, but I am very blessed to have the job that I have. And through, years of training and experience, what better way to help the communities that we serve than being on the front line in the fire service and trying to make a difference. And it's not always successful, but we always put our best foot forward and try to, make our communities as safe as possible. And so, yeah, it was a very trying time, but in the end, knock on wood, relative to other natural disasters, take the Paradise incident with, 11,000 structures lost, the whole community taken out. And I don't know the exact death toll, but it was terrible. And so relative to that, we were very fortunate. And so I was glad to be able to participate in the capacity I did.
So, Jack, there's something that I always wonder about, and we've seen movies, and of course we see on the news firemen in action. And the first thing I always think about when I'm looking at this is, what type of mental capacity does it take for a man or a woman to willfully go in and fight something as devastating, destructive, and powerful as a fire? As a captain, how do you teach your people to go in and do what they need to be doing, when they're faced with something as big as the fires you guys had this year?
Yeah, that's a lot. And I think the easiest way to answer that is through repetition and years of training that just like anything that you can associate your own personal life with, the more familiar you are with a certain situation, the more comfortable, if you will, you become with that. And so in the fire service, and especially for our department, where we're required to do hundreds and hundreds of hours a year in training, through that repetition, you become not comfortable in that environment, but we're really skilled in that environment. And so it becomes less, I got to say, in 37 years that I've been in the fire service, I think 2 times was I ever scared. And in all the other times, it's all that training now has come to put forth and do our job. So you don't really even think about it as a frightening or overwhelming experience, if you will, but it's our job, and this is what we have to do. And those people that have migrated into this profession all have that with them. Otherwise they wouldn't be in the fire service. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, sure. And because I get to ask the questions, you threw one out there that is just begging to be asked. What were those 2 times where you were actually scared on the job, if you can share those?
One was the Sayre fire, which was a few years ago, and we actually got responded into Los Angeles City jurisdiction. We were assigned structure protection in a mobile home park near the 210 freeway and I think Foothill out that way. And the water supply had dried up. We were attached to a fire hydrant. We had unlimited water, and at some point during the firefight, the whole system went dry.
Wow.
And we were ordered to evacuate out of this mobile home park, and mobile homes were catching on fire. And so we disconnected our hoses. We got in the engine. I was responsible for a couple other guys, and we drove a corner, and we were blocked by fire. And I go, hey, no problem. We got time as long as the mobile home behind us doesn't catch on fire. And then, I don't know, a minute later, my firefighter says, hey, Cap, the mobile home behind us is on fire. So we're putting 2 mobile homes on fire, and we only have a little bit of time before the one next to us catches on fire. I had our fire tents, which are our last defense of protection. Mm-hmm. It's like a silver blanket to reflect the heat off. And I said, let's pull those out and we'll sit here for a minute. And inside my stomach, I was nauseous. I felt terrible for my guys, thinking, I'm responsible for these 2 guys' lives. This is terrible. If we die, it's on me. And so we sat there for a little bit, and eventually I'm like, man, we're not going out this way. And I had instructed the engineer to drive the engine through the fire. And through the grace of God, we drove through the fire, and we had a full open lane leaving out of the trailer park, and the lane next to us was backed up with fire trucks all trying to leave. We went out the entrance.
Wow.
Nobody blocked our way, and it was pure luck that we went. And so that was one. And that was pretty gnarly, and that was a few years ago. And
wow.
Another time had nothing to do with fire, but it was a hostage assault type call, and the guy had weapons, and you feel vulnerable in that arena. There's not much that you can do in self-defense other than keep distance. So that's it in my career.
Yeah, well, those are 2 big ones, and again, we certainly appreciate your service. So I want to take a step back to back when you decided to become a fireman and what that decision process looked like, because the name of the show is The Answer is Yes. Certainly, there was a point in your life where you made the decision to become a fireman. What was going on in your world about that time, and were there any offers or other career paths that you could have taken, but then you decided to become a fireman?
Yeah, that's a great question. Back in the day, and actually the term back then was fireman, and then it migrated to, both sexes being, now the title is firefighter. And so back in the day when I thought, oh yeah, I want to be a firefighter, I was really discouraged by the people around saying, oh, you have to be a minority in order to get hired. And I was like, what? And there's a quota, affirmative action, all these things. And my girlfriend at the time went, that's ridiculous. If they have to hire one person, why not it be you? And so from that moment forward, I go, yeah, I was dumb enough to believe in that, which is one of probably my greatest attributes.